So Witchfire is a game I've been looking forward to since 2017. I saw this game and I immediately had um, many different concerns about it, but at the same time, I saw many different things where um, at that time I was like, it looks like the gunplay and the character models and the abilities that you have and stuff are kind of like a little bit picked from certain games and stuff like that. It had certain vibes and stuff like that. Um, but it wasn't the first trailer that we got. It wasn't enough for me to be like conclusive on what they were gonna do because when you're watching a trailer, uh, you don't know if that's going to be like the final product or what's going to go on because they were like at that time they were like it's still a long way from being released. We still have a lot of work to do, and when I hear that I'm like, okay, so what I'm watching may not be anything, or it might be a little bit of something that will be carried over into the final product or whatever. Like it was just too early to be to let my hype go to the level that I have for other games that are like gonna be coming out in the next month or so, for example. But I wanted to show this trailer. This was the trailer that I saw back in 2017. This one here. Now, when I saw that, the first thought that came to my mind was you're not going to have it's probably not going to be an open sandbox type of game. Like you're going to have a destined path that you have to walk, and that might make certain people happy, but it might turn other people off. Uh and I got this Doom 2016 type of vibe from this. Where it's like you may not even care depending on the gameplay. You may not care that you can't just go too far off the beaten path to explore stuff and that you only have like a set path. It may not matter, but like I said before, it's just too early to know for sure if we'll even see this stuff in the actual game. This environment, um even now, this environment looks really really nice, really really detailed, but once again it's too early to tell if we'll even see this in the game or if this is what it's going to actually look like. But it definitely grabs me and pulls me in and tells me a lot about uh what this game is kind of hinting at. You step through a green portal, and the green portal, it kind of just it tells me that there's like dark magic at work here, and then that portal takes me to a what seems to be a graveyard, and beyond the graveyard is some kind of maybe castle or something that looks as if it hasn't been lived in a really long time. And so all of that spoke to me like you are some kind of a witch hunter maybe, or something like that. um Very interesting, cuz that type of thing it's always interesting to me, like when you're a hunter of evil, or you're a hunter of demons, or you're a hunter of witches or zombies or whatever the case may be. That type of idea, that type of concept always pulls me in. can see that the first couple glimpses of enemies, they don't look like, I don't know, but I don't think that those are witches. I feel like maybe you hunt witches. And it also makes me wonder, like, there was something that I saw about like a book or a comic or something that was called like the Witchfire trilogy or something like that. And I'm curious if maybe that has anything to do with, like, is this stemmed off of that or not? Because I don't know. But it makes me wonder whether it is or not doesn't really matter. But um, if they're following like a certain story that somebody has written in a book or a comic or something like that, the only reason I bring it up is overall it doesn't matter. If the gameplay is good, if you have fun playing it, overall it's not really going to matter too much. But usually if they're following a specific like book series or something like that, it's pretty easy to just have an expectation of the story being really good and really detailed, because there's so much detail in a person that writes a book as compared to like if you base it off of a movie or something like that. It's like you could try and follow the same story, but if you're going to put it in a game, the game is going to draw out the details much further than a movie. You know, the average movie is what, like an hour and a half. You take that story, you have to stretch that story out to fit into a game that might be 15 to 40 hours on average. And so then it kind of feels lacking, because it's like, well, the amount of story that was covered in the movie, it made sense for how long it was. They covered just the main stuff. Whereas you're going to want to see the details of that story in a book. You're going to want to read it in a book, or you're going to want to visually see the details in the gameplay. And so that's where it's like, if it's based off of a book series, they have plenty of detail to work off of, and that'll fit better in the storyline of the game, and it'll translate over better than if they like based it off of a movie or something like that. So I'm really hoping, if it's not the case, then it doesn't mean anything, because the game could still be good. The story could still be really good. You know, you just never know. But with it, if it's based off of books and stuff, there's going to be a lot of detail there that they could just simply just carry over and translate it a little bit to fit what's going on in the game. And so if that's the case, I'm a little bit more hyped about it than I would be otherwise, because they're going to easily be able to have a lot of detail in the game. And so you have some kind of a I don't know what you would call that, like a hyper speed shift ability where you're leaping forward, almost like Albert Wesker from Resident Evil, like his little, I don't know what you would call it. It's not a teleportation ability, but it's like a super speed shift forward ability or something. And then you also have like whatever he did with that, like it looked like he made a fist and it caused stuff to shoot up in the air. I don't know what you would call that. Maybe like a gravity manipulation ability, or a force push type of ability, but just like a little bit different maybe. But that's really all we get from this one. And I was like, okay, well, we've seen a couple of abilities. We got to see the guns, but the music was playing while the guns were being fired. So I've watched this trailer quite a few times since 2017, because I kept going back like at least like a couple of times a year, trying to find new information, trying to get a new sense of where they're going with it, what they might have changed, what they might have added, so on and so forth. And I've always tried to like really listen and get a sense of how the gun sounds, because you can see the gun has like a kickback, and as it should. But that's, you see it, it's obvious. It's gonna have like a kick and stuff like that, and it's gonna be in the game. That's obvious. But the sound of the gun, does it have that, like, that sense of impact as the bullet hits the enemy? Is it gonna have that sense of power that the sound gives off? Like, the best example I could give is the shotgun in Rage 2. When I fired that gun, it sounded like it was going to be devastating, and for the most part it was. The impact was insane on an enemy player, or not an enemy player, but an enemy NPC. And everything about that shotgun just felt like it was just a powerhouse type of gun. And I was always trying to listen and see if I could pick that up in this trailer, and I really couldn't. It looks like they have the proper mechanics visually of the weapons having impact, but the sound, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't hear it good enough over the music. But with that being said, we have this one. So this trailer came out like 2 months ago, and we get a little bit more in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And so this trailer, from the first like 3 seconds, I get way more detail as to what this game is going for. It might even be like a RPG. It's definitely a first-person shooter, but it feels like maybe there might be an RPG type of mechanic in this, because if you watch, see, he's shooting the enemies, and you're seeing white numbers, and then you see this 132 in the yellow. That indicates damage counts and critical hits. So this looks like it, because it's not white, it's yellow, it's like a critical hit number. Now, why would you have these numbers if there wasn't something like maybe some kind of small element of RPG elements or formula of some kind in there? It really makes me wonder, but it looks really, really cool. And I get from this trailer, I'm getting a lot of, it's almost like The Witcher, but from a first person's perspective and with guns instead of swords. There he did some kind of a, I don't know what that was. So I saw almost like some kind of a force push ability of some kind, but it looked more like a Witcher style of, like, I can't remember what the sign is called in The Witcher, but like that white force coming out, the almost like a air current of some kind or whatever. And we saw him do that, but it wasn't just right in front of him, it was like all around him. And then you saw him do some kind of thing where he threw his hand out like that, and these little fireballs like flew around the enemy. And then you saw him do something like this again, but it looked like the enemy was going like this, like you blinded the enemy. So it looks like you have, between the previous trailer and this trailer, you have like some kind of gravity type thing that, like, you shoot the enemies up in the air, or you shoot the surrounding objects up in the air. You have some kind of short range shift ability where you quickly like zoom forward or backward or in different directions, which is nice because I would imagine, hopefully, that is like an ability you can use as a dodge type mechanic to avoid damage. Then you have more offense and defensive skills of some kind. I don't want to call them spells because I'm assuming that's what they're going to be because it's called Witchfire. It's probably about fighting witches, so you're probably using spells. But it looks like you have quite a few offensive and defensive spells. You know, you have ones that are shoving them away, you have ones that are catching them on fire, but you also have ones that are throwing them up off the ground and blinding them, and getting out of the way of being damaged. So we have quite a few things that we're seeing, and the guns too. We've seen a few different guns. I really like the way the pistol looks. Like the bullets actually have crosses on them, which is really cool. I think that's a nice little touch. Has a little element of like glowing red light on parts of the gun, which maybe indicates that it's like a blessed weapon. Like maybe it's not just a regular pistol. It's like, special enchanted bullets with an enchanted gun of some kind. And now here, it looks like now this tells me one of two things: that it is going to have like a mechanic where you get weapon drops, and the weapon drops somewhere and you pick it up, and it's a more powerful version of like either a rifle or a pistol or something like that. I'm seeing 3 weapon slots in the menu. You have it looks like one revolver, then another revolver, and then some kind of rifle. And so it doesn't look to me like it's a level up your weapon type of mechanic. It looks to me like it's going to be something like Destiny. You have random weapon drops and stuff like that, which I don't know if Destiny's the best example, but because it drops engrams and not weapons. But what I'm saying is, it's probably a thing where like you might have a random enemy drop a high tier weapon item or a high tier gear item, and that's what it seems to me, because this is like a completely different type of revolver than we've seen so far. And it looks like you have 2 different types of revolvers. So it's like maybe you'll have revolver pistols, you'll have rifles, maybe some kind of a machine gun or shotgun maybe, and then you can find different versions off of enemy drops, or maybe chests, or boss enemies drop certain weapons. Maybe it's something similar to where Remnant from the Ashes, like you kill a boss enemy a certain way, like you can get materials that you can take and either use the materials to make a weapon or sell it to somebody or give it to somebody for a weapon or something like that. This feels like there's a couple RPG elements that we're starting to see that might be in this game. So that's all we get for that one. And so it's like, I'm not entirely sure what to expect from this game. I still couldn't find anything about how much longer we're gonna have to wait for this game. I mean, it's not like I'm like hurting or in any kind of distress about how long I've been waiting for this game. It's just a game that looks really, really good, that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It gives me first person weapon version of Witcher combined with a little bit of like hunt showdown type of feels, and then some elements of RPG thrown in there too. Uh, and I could be completely off base with this, but I don't think so. But that doesn't mean that this is the final product of the game. I feel like it probably will be very close to the final product of the game. When I watched the first trailer back in 2017, I was like, none of this could be in the game. But now, this is 2 months. This was 2 months ago at the time of this recording, and a lot of it's still the same. A lot of it still looks the same. This is the same cemetery and the same castle we saw from the first trailer. So I really don't see this stuff changing. Like a lot of what we're seeing now in this trailer, in this latest trailer, is probably most of what the final product is going to be. And I am really excited to hear more about this game, and I feel like you guys should be excited about this game too, because the first trailer and the second trailer, they have such a long space of time between each other, but they look almost exactly the same. And that's why I'm personally hyped about this. This looks like something where we don't have to worry about getting conned in any kind of way. We don't have to worry about getting lied to in any kind of way. I feel like this is authentically something that we can allow ourselves to get hyped about, because we're talking about almost a 4-year span of time between two trailers, and they look almost similar. So this is the type of game we are going to get. This is the type of features. What we're seeing in these two trailers is the stuff that we're going to get. Now, like I said before, back when I saw the first trailer, I was like, I'm very skeptical. But now that we have this second trailer that was released not that long ago, and it looks so similar to the first trailer, that it's like I can officially say that I completely am on board with this game. I'm hyped for this game. I'm looking forward to playing this game. I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait for us to get more information about when it's going to be released. And honestly, I'm really happy about the fact that we got a trailer back in 2017. We got another trailer now. And we may have gotten other things in between. I just didn't bother looking into it, because that's really not the point I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make was that it's all similar in that span of time. It means that they found what they want the game to be, and they're going to just keep on adding more details to it and improving on what they have. And what I see so far, and what they have so far that they're willing to show us, I'm hyped for, and I'm excited for, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about this game. I suggest subscribing to their channel so that you get more information, which was the astronauts, or I think is what it was. That's what it was. It doesn't matter, but yeah, just look into Witchfire. Follow them on their social medias. Like, if you like The Witcher, if you like Hunt Showdown, I feel like this is going to be something similar to those. They kind of took a little bit, well, maybe they didn't take anything, but I'm just saying it resembles things that I like. It resembles games that I enjoyed a lot, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more. And that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this game, and if you're looking forward to it, or if you're not looking forward to it, and why you're not looking forward to it. And feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And whenever the day comes that they will release this game, I will definitely be playing it for sure. So feel free to follow me at twitch.tv/TommyTS1, because I will be covering this in live streams whenever it comes out, or at the very least, like if they eventually release a beta or an alpha, I'm going to try and go out of my way to get a hold of this game and play it and get a better understanding of it and play it for you guys to see if I can, if I'm allowed to live stream it. If not, then I'll do a review on what I thought about it, unless they don't want me to and they tell me I can't release it until a certain date or whatever. Whatever, I don't care. It's fine. I want to play this game. Like, no matter what, I'm really excited for this. And I hope you guys are too. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Later.